Hey guys, welcome back to Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex, and in today's video, I'm going to tell the birds who have been crapping all over my daily driver 2005 C55 AMG that enough's enough. In today's video, I'm going to perform a paint correction and a ceramic coating that's going to offer a Star Trek style force field layer around my car that is going to laugh in the face of any Chicago rat bird trying to release its poorly digested dumpster Chinese food all over my car. I'm also going to remove most of the scratches and swirl marks all in about 6 hours and for under $100 in materials, including the ceramic coating. Now, this is sort of a response to a video that I made a couple months back where I showed you guys a $3,000 36-hour paint correction and ceramic coating. The guys at Chicago Auto Pros went to town on my black E55 and it looks amazing, practically brand new. But some of you had commented that a service like that isn't very realistic on a car that's worth about $12,000 to $15,000. Now, there are some things I want to clarify from that video, and we're gonna get to that a little bit later on, but for now we have a lot of work to do on my C55. The silver paint does a pretty good job at hiding a lot of the swirl marks and scratches, but as you can tell, the paint is very contaminated. There are some visual scratches, but my main concern is protecting the surface of this car. Right now, practically anything sticks to the C55, and I want to change that. So we're going to get going on the C55 right now, but make sure to check out the video description box down below. There will be step-by-step instructions to everything I'm doing in this video, along with links to every single tool and product that you see in this video, including a $25 off coupon to Avalon King's latest formula of their Armor Shield 9 ceramic coating. So the first step is a car wash and paint decontamination, so let's get to work. The first step is cleaning the wheels. At this point, I just use normal car soap and a dedicated sponge, bucket, and small brush to get in between the spokes. With all the wheels cleaned up, it's time to move on to tar removal. Oh, glorious tar removal. Now, hopefully you don't have tar on your car, but if you do, you have to get it off before you even wash the car so you don't contaminate your clean wash mitt. I started by pre-soaking the tar with Goo Gone. This worked very, very well in some areas with the tar just wiping away, but didn't work so well in other areas. I had to reapply and use a dedicated sponge that was immediately thrown away after the job was done. With all the tar gone, it was time for the car wash. Now, normally I use a foam cannon when washing my cars because not only are they a ton of fun, but you get amazing coverage like this. I forgot the fitting for my friend's pressure washer, so we're just going to use a 2-bucket method. One bucket with soap and the 2 wash mitts, and the other with clean rinse water. From here, you guys know the drill. Just go nuts washing your car, and don't forget to rinse out your microfiber mitts. That way you don't contaminate your clean soapy water. Now, since we know that dirt loves to hide everywhere, use a small soft bristled brush to clean out in between all of your emblems and all of your trim. All right, the wash procedure is complete and the C55 is already looking amazing. We were able to get all the dirt and grime that was hiding in little places like this and in between the emblems, and I also spot checked the entire car for tar, and I'm happy to say that the C55 doesn't have any more tar on it. Tar will automatically destroy your buffing pad, so it's very important that you remove it before any kind of polishing. So next up we have paint and surface decontamination, and we're going to start off by removing the iron particles by using this. This is Decon Pro Iron Remover from Chemical Guys. This is very similar to the Iron X product that I used in the E55 video, and what we're going to do is spray this all over the car, and it's going to lift all the metal particles from the clear coat of the car. This is important so you're not grinding all that stuff back into the clear coat when you get to the polishing step. So this is a very important procedure when you're doing any level of paint correction, and you can also use this as a standalone wheel cleaner. It's pretty cool. It actually turns a purple color and it dissolves brake dust and everything on your wheels and makes them look really, really nice. Removing the iron particles with the Decon Pro is as easy as spraying it all over your car and letting it dwell for about 2 to 5 minutes. If you see purple streaks, you know it's working. To remove, just rinse with water and spend some extra time around trim and body moldings to make sure you've removed all of the solution.
solution.
All right, guys, with all the iron particles removed from the entire surface of the C55, we are ready to move on to decontamination stage 2. So this is right before the fun part of polishing the car and right before the really fun part of ceramic coating the car. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. The original method is just by using a clay bar, and you want to use a lubricant with clay. This way it glides nice and evenly over the surface, and what the clay does is it removes any leftover contaminants that are embedded in the clear coat. Now, surprisingly, the C55 wasn't all that bad, especially because we removed all the iron particles first. So what we'll be using in this video is called a surface prep mitt, and it looks just like
this. This is a surface prep mitt. It is made by a company called Rupes. I have no clue how to pronounce that, so please correct me in the comments section. A surface prep mitt like this can be used many times as long as you clean it properly in between usage. It basically accomplishes the same task as the clay bar, but much quicker, and you still have to use a lubricant, so we're going to use the same lubricant that we used for the clay. So this is really easy. You want to start off on the glass, especially if you're using a brand new mitt. This helps break it in, and you just spray the lubricant on the surface and rub this back and forth with your hand. Move on to the painted surface and do the exact same thing. This step is very easy and should only take you maybe about a half hour, 45 minutes. After you are done decontaminating the entire surface with the mitt, you can move on to the fun stuff. Man, do I wish you guys could feel the surface of the C55 before. If you rubbed your hand on it like this, it basically felt like sandpaper, and this is going to get much better once we add the ceramic coating on top of the clear coat. But for now, it feels very smooth. We've decontaminated the entire car, and off camera, I sprayed about a 25% solution of rubbing alcohol all over the car, so it is as clean as humanly possible. It's basically disinfected because the next step is polishing, and like everything, the prep work is the most important. So here's my arsenal for the polishing step. I'm using a Rupes Bigfoot random orbital polisher, and this is a really high quality machine. This is what you'll see at most of the higher end detail shops. Rupes is a really good brand, and they make a ton of awesome products. So we'll be using that polisher, and I'm going to show you guys the pad that I'm going to try and get away with as a one step. And this might seem a little weird to you guys if you've been detailing cars for a while, but we're actually going to use a wool polishing pad. So this is kind of old school, but this one is made specifically by Rupes for these types of machines. So this is specifically woven for this machine, and what this doesn't do is it doesn't leave haze marks like your old style wool pads would leave, and you can actually use this as a one step. You can apply a sealant or a wax after using just this. Now, another good option when you're doing paint correction is going on to a finer pad. So in this case, we could use a yellow Rupes foam pad, but being a silver car, there's a very good chance we can just get away with this. So we'll check it out after we're done polishing it out with the wool pad. Now, I'll also be using the Rupes medium compound, and you can use this with the medium foam pad or with the medium wool. And if you need to get something that's a little bit more coarse, if you have really deep scratches, of course they have different pads for that as well. But I think this will do the job very nicely on the C55. So let me set this up, and I'll show you guys kind of how to prep the pad so that you don't end up using a ton of this, and so you don't have to tape off the entire car and worry about splatter all over the place. Prepping the pad is easy. Just pretend you're buttering up some toast and spread the compound evenly. This ensures that you're using the entire pad, and once buttered up, you only need a couple dabs of compound in between passes.
Now, just about as important as buttering up your pad is the temperature of your work environment. You generally want to work in about room temperature, and you don't want it to be too cold when you're doing any kind of buffing, polishing, or ceramic coating. Now, this brings me to where I'm at right now. You guys might be wondering why I'm not at home in my heated garage, and it's for this very reason. We're doing some work on the house, so the gas is shut off, which means I don't have a heater, and it's only 50 degrees out, which is just way too cold for any of this type of work. So I'm at my buddy's shop, Driven Performance in Wooddale, Illinois. These guys do a ton of awesome hot rod restoration and high performance work, and they make cars that look like this. They also do normal car repairs, so if you guys live anywhere in the Chicagoland area and need your car fixed, definitely check them out. I'll leave their contact information in the video description box down below. So we are ready to get to the polishing stage. Oh, and by the way, it is the next day. I only have about 2.5 hours into what you've seen so far, but I only get a few hours a day to film. I have a normal job that I work at night, and I have to drive to the shop, and filming like doubles or triples the amount of time it takes to do any job. So it is the next day, but the car is still all cleaned up and ready to go. We have our pad all buttered up, and I'm going to start off over here at the left side quarter panel.
Polishing a car is a ton of fun, so don't be afraid to get a machine and start practicing. This is all pretty new to me, but I've learned a lot from some pretty smart people over the last few months, so here are the basics to get you started. You want to start by spreading the compound on the surface, working in about a 2x2 section at a time. Jason at Chicago Auto Pros taught me to work in a grid system and go back and forth about 5 passes. Use very light pressure and let the machine do most of the work. Keep the pad nice and flat and wipe the section clean with a microfiber towel. Use the paint inspection light to check over your work, and you're looking for fine scratches in the clear coat. Now after you're done with each section, it's best to clean your pad by using a pad cleaning brush, or you can blow the pad out with shop air. With a good machine, this process can go quickly, but like we'll talk about soon, there are many levels to this kind of work, so the job is only as good as you want it to be. Make sure to polish every painted surface of the car, overlapping each section into the next. You can also use a floor jack to polish hard to reach areas like the bottom of the ground effects or the bumpers. Polishing with the wool pad is complete, and check it out guys, the C55 looks absolutely ridiculous, and I'm so excited to move on to the next stage, which is the ceramic coating. So I'm having a really hard time finding any imperfections here, and this isn't because I'm really good at polishing cars. I'm an amateur at best. This primarily has to do with the color of this car. Silver hides a lot, so if this was a black car, we would definitely have to move on to stage 2 and use the foam pad, but I don't think we're gonna need to do that. I did use this for the headlights and the hood, but other than that, for what I'm doing with the C55, for the level of correction that I'm going for, this is way more than enough. This is probably nicer than like 90% of the cars on the road, and for me, I think it looks fantastic. So I'm gonna listen to Rupes on this one, and we're just gonna do the one stage. That is how they market the wool pad and that yellow medium compound, and I'd have to agree, I definitely think you could do it as a one stage on a light colored car like this one. So next up, we have to do the ceramic coating on the car. So off camera, I've sprayed the entire car back down with a 25% solution of rubbing alcohol. That way we've taken away all the compound, all the wax, and anything that's on the surface of this car, because once you use the ceramic coating, you're sealing in anything that's sitting on the surface of your car, and we don't want to do that. This ceramic coating can last about 2 to 5 years, so you definitely want it to look as nice as humanly possible. So let's get into ceramic coating right now. All right guys, I'm going to show you how to apply the Avalon King Armor Shield 9 ceramic coating in real time, because this is probably the easiest thing you can do to your car, and then while it's drying, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about why you even want this stuff on the surface of your vehicle in the first place. So this kit is very complete. Obviously, you get your little bottle of ceramic coating, and a little bit goes a long way. This is enough to cover the entire car, including the glass. They also give you an applicator pad, so one of the sides is going to be soft, and this is the side that's going to go onto the surface of your vehicle, but not before you wrap it with a supplied cloth. Now, this is their latest formula, and they actually give you a really nice piece of black suede now, except I lost it, so I'm using what they give you in the older kits, which works fine as well. So what you want to do is you just want to wrap your applicator pad like so, and this is already primed, but if it's a new cloth, you just want to put about 5 or 6 dabs of this directly on it. So right now we're just going to do about 3 since it's already primed, and that is more than enough to handle about a 2x2 section like this. So this does dry pretty quickly, and the application is really simple. All you're going to do is just wipe it on like this. I kind of like to go in a little grid motion because right now we are filling the pores of of the clear coat of the car. This is what's going to offer the protection on the surface of your vehicle. So at this point, we're done. We've applied ceramic coating to this pretty large section right here, and now we're going to let it dry for about 90 seconds. And they have a really nice chart on the Avalon King site if you guys want to reference the temperature of the room, which correlates with the drying time. So it's about 75 degrees in here, which means 90 seconds is plenty. So let me tell you guys why you even want this stuff in the first place.
A ceramic coating works as a strong invisible shield that anyone can apply to any car on just about every exterior surface, whether it's the paint, plastic trim, headlights, wheels, or glass. The coating fills the pores of your clear coat, protecting the surface from practically anything, including paint fading, UV damage, and of course, bird crap. The coating also adds a glossy wet look to your paint, which can last up to 5 years. Ceramic coating is also very hydrophobic, which means that water beads right off the surface, leaving your car cleaner for longer. Check out the link below to get your very own Armor Shield 9 ceramic coating kit for only $45 using my coupon code.
All right guys, it's been 90 seconds, so at this point we're just going to simply buff off the remaining ceramic coating that's on the surface of the car with a clean microfiber, so you don't need to use a ton of pressure here. All you're doing is simply wiping this off just like so. Make sure you've gotten all of it and it's not tacky feeling anymore. Once it's really smooth, you know that you're done, and this is about all that it takes, just like this. And we're done. We've applied ceramic coating on this section of the car. Now it does need to dry for about 4 hours, depending on the temperature again, before you can drive the car. And they want you to wait about 24 hours before you drive the car in any kind of weather like rain. And if you do coat the glass, don't turn your wipers on for about 2 days, or that will kind of wear it off of the windshield. So I'll be doing that along with the wheels in another video, so definitely stay tuned for that. At this point, I am gonna coat the entire car. This should only take me about an hour, and we're about 4.5, 5 hours in so far to this job. So this is gonna work out perfectly, and I can't wait to show you guys the results. So let me do this, and then we're gonna get to final result time outside. Final reveal time, guys. The C55 is completely ceramic coated, and I know the camera is not doing this car justice right now. It's a silver car. Again, it hides everything, but this thing looks absolutely brand new. Now, the C55 does have some rock chips here and there. It's not absolutely perfect, although I did send the front bumper out for a respray a couple months back, and it looks just about as good as a 152,000 mile daily driver AMG car can look. I'm really happy with the results, and I do have something to admit to you guys. This entire job didn't take 6 hours. It took about 6.5 hours. That tar really set me back. It took me like an extra half hour to clean that. The ceramic coating though went very quick. I actually only waited about 60 seconds before drying it, and you really want to test this out in a small spot first, because if it gets too tacky, that means you've left it on a little bit too long, so you don't want to get it really sticky. So about a minute for me, about 75-degree garage, kind of makes sense. So that went really quick, and just look at this thing. I can't wait to complete the job by ceramic coating the wheels, although they look pretty good right now. I even polished out the tips right here just to kind of complete the service. And this just looks great. I am so excited. So let's talk about the E55 video. I just have a couple points I want to clear up with you guys.
All right, the C55 is back in the garage because I'm pretty sure it's going to rain out there, and this is only cured for about 3 hours, so I'm going to leave it here in the heated garage at Driven Performance and then come pick up the C55 tomorrow or the next day when it's fully cured. So let's talk about the E55 video. There's just a couple things that I wanted to clarify. First of all, some of you had mentioned that spending $3,000 on a service like that is simply just too much on a car that's worth about $12,000 to $15,000. What I should have mentioned in that video was that the whole point of the video was just to simply show you guys exactly step by step what goes into an ultra professional, the best of the best paint correction and ceramic coating and detail service by honestly one of the best shops in the entire country. So regardless of what kind of car car we used, that was the point of the video. Now, we just used the E55 because it was a somewhat neglected black car, 15-year-old car with 107,000 miles on it, and it really needed a lot of work. So this way, it was able to show off the awesome work that the guys at Chicago Auto Pros did very clearly. We were able to do tape lines and kind of show you exactly what the before and after was, which would be very, very difficult on a silver car. What I also wanted to mention is that there are so many different levels to paint correction. You can't just simply say, I did a paint correction and it's equal to someone else's paint correction. There are so many different factors that come into play, like the condition of the car and the color of the car and how good of a job you want to do. So the job that I did was an amateur job. It looks really good. 9 out of 10 people are going to think this car looks awesome, including myself. But the reality of it is that it's a silver car. It looks good already, and I've probably corrected this to about 75 to 80%, whereas on the E55 that was corrected to about 98%, almost as perfect as you can get. Also, something I mentioned in that video and we listed in the comments section was it wasn't simply a paint correction and ceramic coating. They also pulled out all the dents from the car. They filled every single rock chip on the car with touch-up paint. They shampooed and detailed the interior. This was a little bit more than a paint correction and ceramic coating. This was like a vehicle restoration, and that's why something like that costs about $3,000 to do. But either way, I am so happy with the way that this car has turned out, and any one of you guys at home can do this job. I am not a professional at all. I've only done this a couple times, so I am an amateur at best, and I think the car looks really, really awesome. So don't forget to check out all the links and the step-by-step instructions in the video description box down below. With that being said, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below, share the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch all of you in the next video.